Tonight, a tragic end to the search for a much-loved grandfather missing in the Riverland. Also, 2 boys arrested over a southern suburbs crime spree. Commuters left in limbo as the wheels fall off marathon bus dispute talks. Hitting the road, police launch a cycling safety blitz ahead of the Tour Down Under. And a couple of runaway horses cause havoc as mayhem descends on the Magic Millions.
Live from Adelaide, 7 News with Mike Smithson.
Good evening. A well-known Riverland grandfather has tragically drowned while taking his boat out on the flooded Murray. An exhaustive search for the 78-year-old was carried out over 2 days, with water crews retrieving his body this morning.
This is Robert Westbrook with wife Marlene, pictured here as partners in crime, but they were very much partners in life as well. That was until yesterday.
Well, Robert is just a good bloke. Yeah. He just a real good bloke.
The 78-year-old grandfather took his tinny out yesterday morning, something he'd done many times before, but this time he never came home.
They tried to ring his phone and couldn't get it. I said, look, I'll go down and have a look, and that's when I found the boat. It was probably about 5 metres off of the shore. I went straight out because I thought he might have been trapped under it.
He wasn't, nor was he anywhere to be seen. His family reporting him missing just after lunch, launching a major search effort from the air and on the water, involving both police and SES. But it wasn't until this morning authorities finally located him.
Adjacent to where he was found was an upturned dinghy, along with his vehicle parked nearby as well.
Police say there are no suspicious circumstances and that they are now preparing a report for the coroner. Today, friends told 7 News the father of 3 was well known, loyal to a fault, and above all else, hard-working.
Well, I'll miss the chats that we've always had. We always had a good chat. It was good.
Kimberly Pratt, 7 News.
A terrified Clovelly Park resident says she locked herself inside her home until police arrived after 2 13-year-olds allegedly smashed their way into her car. The crime was one of 2 vehicle break-ins in Adelaide South overnight.
On the ground, cuffed and surrounded by police, 2 13-year-old boys taken into custody.
Get this on the camera.
But what they're accused of is no laughing matter. Police say they broke into Bella Caviolo's car on Finchley Street, Clovelly Park, just after 2 this morning.
Thank goodness our neighbour across the road is a police officer. He kind of knew what to listen for and he called it in for us.
The back window was shattered by a brick, the car's ignition destroyed.
I'm just kind of glad they didn't try and get into the house, and I'm kind of also grateful that I didn't get up in the end because who knows what could have happened.
Police dog Duke led officers to the backyard of a nearby home where the young suspects were hiding.
A dog's barking, and I think our neighbour was shouting as well, telling someone off. And then, just the banging of the gate. So I think, yes, obviously someone did try to jump the fence.
A knife found at the scene was taken away for evidence.
Don't put that knife in there because that ain't mine.
The boys have already been released on bail. But in a separate incident at Mitchell Park 2 hours earlier, 2 men are seen on camera walking up to an unlocked car and rifling through it. They're accused of stealing power tools and camping gear before officers eventually catch up with them.
It's scary to hear that someone came and trying to open cars or do something like that.
They've been charged with theft and were refused bail. Mitchell Zariovsky, 7 News.
And police have apprehended a motorcyclist accused of hitting 130 kilometres an hour in an 80 zone. He was spotted allegedly speeding on the wrong side of the road at Morford Vale in the middle of the night. When patrols pursued him, he ditched his Honda and ran through a park where he was quickly caught. The bike wasn't insured or registered. After 6 hours of tense negotiations today, Adelaide's bus dispute is no closer to being resolved. Rosie Barnett joins us live. And Rosie, the union and the bus operator couldn't reach an agreement.
They couldn't, Mike, despite the union's hopes that yesterday's 24-hour bus driver strike would force Torrens Transit's hand. Today's meeting ended in disappointment. The union says the company didn't even consider its wage demands to increase the minimum hourly pay from $25 to $32 and for greater penalty rates. One key area of negotiation was bus driver safety, though, which workers say has reached a catastrophic point. Just this afternoon, police released these images of a man who allegedly punched a driver several times in the head when boarding a bus in North Adelaide last month. On this front, the meeting did address implementing safety screens in Adelaide Metro buses, a move the union says is a step in the right direction but doesn't go far enough, which is bad news for commuters.
We may, within the next day or so, place them on notice of more action, which could be a raft of things. We will not rule out industrial action of similar of yesterday's.
Another meeting is planned here at the Marland depot on Monday. The unions warned if its demands aren't finally taken seriously, then it can't rule out strike action when kids return to school at the end of the month. Mike?
Thanks, Rosie. Two Aberfoyle Park residents are lucky to have escaped injury after a large tree came crashing down on their bedroom overnight. Emergency crews were called to Outlook Drive around 11:30 after reports the gum had fallen from the neighbour's yard. After assessing the damage, they decided it was too dangerous to remove, so it's been left to the owner's insurer to clean up. The best cyclists in the world have descended on Adelaide for the Tour Down Under. It's an event that encourages a surge in amateur cycling as well. Lauren Rose joins us live from Stirling. And Lauren, it's prompted a warning from police.
It certainly has, Mike. From here in the hills to down at the coast, patrols will be out in force, making sure both drivers and cyclists are doing the right thing. A blitz called Operation Safe Cycling will run for the duration of the Tour Down Under, starting from this Friday. Officers will be making sure drivers are keeping a safe distance, at least a metre between their car and a rider. They'll also be keeping a close eye on where on the road cyclists are riding. If there is a bike lane, they need to be in it. All this is to ensure the TDU is a fatality-free event.
We're just trying to make it as safe as possible for everybody to avoid some of these really nasty crashes that we can see, particularly this time of year.
Most of the international teams have flown into